Good Tuesday morning. Here's what we had yesterday. You may recall we had a little bit of sunshine at times. Here's our Gualdi Group camera from CC Heights. You see the sun and then a couple of rounds of rain. We were in and out of the showers yesterday. The heaviest rain was early on. We had about 9 to 10 solid hours of rain, and that yielded more than 1.3 inches. The total for the day, 1.46 inches of rain yesterday. Today, still rain, but much lighter rain. But this time, it is wind-driven rain. Here's a live look. We are just about up to the 8:30 here on this Tuesday morning. This is our Gualdi Group camera from Grand Rounds on 3rd Street, Southwest Rochester, looking north on Broadway, and it is a dreary scene, to be sure. Definitely an unpleasant day all around. I would say overall that if you had to choose the ugliest, most unpleasant day of the week, this is it. This is going to be the day that features the coldest wind chills, the strongest winds overall, really. And then that persistent rain that's going to be wind-driven, coming in at about a 45-degree angle all day long with those west winds, at times howling up to 45 miles per hour. So it's going to be a windy one. A wind advisory headline for the entire area that goes until 7 o'clock tonight because of the gusty nature of this weather. And again, you can expect this to feel like a damp, dreary, unpleasant, November-like situation. Here's a look southward, a little shake to our camera, again representing that the wind, I mean really showing what's happening. Here's our Gualdi Group camera from Signal Hill looking south on near Highway 52, but that's Bandle Road there in the foreground. In the distance you can see the wet pavement along Highway 52, the low murky clouds. Temperatures still at their morning lows at this point. We have not seen any upward movement in that thermometer. It may take hours for that to happen. Really, I think once we get past this morning rain, we may see some slight improvement with those temperatures, but we're not going to move up much more than 2 or 3 degrees all day. 40 is where we stand right now in Rochester. Dodge Center, 37 degrees. Mason City, 41. Preston 40, and right now you factor in those winds, and it feels like 29 here in Rochester. West winds 28 miles per hour. Last gust I checked was around 35 miles per hour. Air pressure is rapidly rising. At one point it was only 29.2 inches of mercury, up to 29.42 inches, and that tells us the barometer is showing a higher reading, meaning that high pressure is coming in and that the storm system, the area of low pressure, is departing to the east. So that's a good thing, but behind it, as is oftentimes the case in these October storm systems, a lot of wind and a lot of dreariness. In this case, it's that cold, late October rain at this point. 38 mile per hour gusts right now in Rochester. It's 40 miles per hour in Mason City, 39 in Mankato. Not as many of those mid-40s as we had earlier. So that high wind warning that was in effect west of Interstate 35, that has expired, but now we're in a wind advisory situation across the board. Wind chill, this is another important statistic. On a day like today, it feels like 29 in Rochester, Mason City 31, Zumbrota 29, Decorah 37. There's that rain. It continues until midday, maybe as late as 2. Perhaps a couple sprinkles even as late as 3 o'clock. Wouldn't be surprised if we had a little drizzle still blowing in behind the storm system. Those high temperatures only around 43, 44 degrees. And again, the wind chill, it's going to be where it is pretty much all day, where it is right now in the low 30s. Sunset 6:15. At least by the time we get to sunset, we're drier. And after that wind advisory finally expires around 7 o'clock, then we start seeing those winds begin to improve. Until that time of day, we're still looking at least 40 mile per hour gusts. After about 7 o'clock, we'll be more like 25, 30 miles per hour for a couple of hours. But 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, if you're heading out to playoff football tonight, blustery, but not as windy and drier. And temperatures will only be a few degrees cooler by then. So it does get a little better, but those wind chill levels still problematic, still only around 30. Rain rotating around from the backside of the storm system. You see some of those showers moving in from the north to southeast across southern Minnesota, western Wisconsin, even a portion of northeast Iowa, getting a couple of sprinkles out of that. But area of low pressure working its way toward Green Bay, up toward Escanaba, and eventually toward the UP of Michigan and into the heart of the Great Lakes on its backsides where we are dealing with the wind and the clouds between storm systems. I'm hopeful we'll see some breaks in the clouds, breaks of sunshine, maybe very early tomorrow before the next storm system moves in pretty quickly. Rainfall amounts, this is not much since midnight. 0.09 of an inch in Rochester, 0.08 of an inch in Mason City. But again, 1.46 inches yesterday in Rochester, and now the total heading into today, 5.63 inches for the month of October. Typically, at this point in the month, we'd have 1.62 inches, so about 3.5 times the normal amount of rainfall to this point in the month of October. We still have a month or a week left in the month, but I'm hopeful that after today and tomorrow, not a whole lot of rain in store for quite some time. So it does look like we're going to get in a drier stretch, but already for the year, 51 inches even for 2019. Every time we see another raindrop, we add to the record. Surplus right now, 21.74 inches of rain. Still, at this point, almost double the normal amount of rainfall. I mean, approaching that level anyway. Windy and damp today. Again, rain continues, maybe another couple of hundredths of an inch. It's not going to be much. Tomorrow, very light rain. We may even see, at first anyway, out of the next storm system, maybe a couple of wet snowflakes. That wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility in that Wednesday system, but not a lot of wind tomorrow. If there's any saving grace in that system. Yeah, it's dreary. Yeah, it's going to be a little damp at times, but not so windy. And then later this week, finally some sunshine. Not a lot of warmth, but sun would be better than this. 40 in Rochester now, and all the warmth regionally as well east of us. We're looking at that cold air coming in behind the system. 28 right now in Minot, 36 in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Here's Futurecast watching the showers in our area. They move out. Evening looks drier. We start seeing some breaks in the cloud cover just before midnight. Tomorrow we start with a little bit of sun, but watch these thin clouds develop. And then by about 10, 11 o'clock, light rain. Here we are, Futurecast around 1 o'clock. Yes, there's some blue here, suggesting we may see just a couple of wet snowflakes mixing in. Mainly a rain event, though, I think, tomorrow. We're talking temperatures mid-40s. So yeah, there's that chance of maybe a wet snowflake or two. But the system moves out around 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And then skies will remain cloudy tomorrow night, finally beginning to clear during the day on Thursday, but lighter winds there. And we start off in the low 30s on Thursday, but afternoon temperatures still, I think, will reach at least the 40s with light winds and then some decent sunshine. And Friday, even better than that, with light winds and maybe upper 40s with even more sun. So it gets better from here. But today, windy and cool. Again, the ugliest day of the week for all intents and purposes. 44 in Rochester, 47 Mason City. Light showers, west winds gusting to 45 miles per hour. Wind chill around 32. Today, gusty winds. Tonight, a little blustery initially. The winds really, I think, by around 9 o'clock or so, really drop off the table. We're talking maybe 10 miles per hour by then. But at first in the evening, a little blustery, gradual clearing before midnight. 32 the overnight low. And then tomorrow, light winds only around 3 to 8 miles per hour. So mostly cloudy, maybe a little sun at first before about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Light rain develops late in the morning, lasting through much of the afternoon. 45 the expected high. And the 7-day forecast after tomorrow's light rain, the next round of rain, a very sparse opportunity for rain that comes up on Sunday with a weak cold front. Kind of a breezy day, maybe a little sun surrounding that. And at this point, the front looks to move through middle part of the day. So maybe a couple of late morning, early afternoon showers or sprinkles, a little sun surrounding that. 50 on Sunday. Next week, it looks like mainly 40s across the board as we get closer to Halloween. It does look like at this point, looking down the road toward Halloween, a couple of pretty cold days next week. So, those 50s we have on the 7-day, surrounded by mostly 40s, but they stand as the only decent October-like weather we have. But keeping in mind 56 is a seasonal average. Today we're going to be more than 10 degrees colder than that. And probably the next 7 to 10 days, we're going to be at least 5 to 10, maybe 15 degrees below the seasonal average. So a lot of 40s instead of 50s, and so I hope you enjoyed those 60s we had over the weekend. We're not getting anywhere close to that for the foreseeable future. In the meantime, today, bundle up, stay dry, stay warm, and we get through this one. It does get a little better after this. Just getting rid of that wind and that raw wind-driven rain will make our lives so much better. In the meantime, have a great Tuesday, everybody.